This is a pound for pound boxing show. Jermaine, I'm John Sire, along by Tommy Jacobs. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, thanks, Jermaine. Thank you for having me on.
No, pleasure, mate. Pleasure. I want to talk to you. Obviously, Tommy, you been at the ring obviously for it's gone past 5 years now. You're making your return on the 24th of July. How are you feeling? How's camp going?
Yeah, camp's going brilliant. I'm really excited. I just can't wait to get in there now. It's been a long time coming. So I'm just really excited to get in there and let my hands go and show people what I'm made of.
Yeah. So obviously, you've been out of the ring for it's gone over 5 years now. Obviously, apart from the pandemic happening, I want to ask you, what's the reason for you being out of the ring so long?
Right. So basically, I went to jail in 2019. When I come out in 2015, I went for my British Boxing Board of Control licence. They turned me down because I was still on probation or on licence from prison. Steve Goodwin, who had signed with at the time, said to keep my nose clean and go and box under a different licence. So I found the Motor Boxing Commission, and that's who my first bout was with, that's on BoxRec. And they subsequently lost their BoxRec status and lost their sort of professional status since then. So, I've just been waiting all this time for me Board of Control license.
Must have been obviously being frustrating, very frustrating. Obviously, you want to fight, you want to be active, and obviously no fault of your own and that you can't fight. So I'm sure you're very, very excited to finally get in the ring and finally play boxing on the 24th of July live on Fightzone UK.
Yeah, I can't wait. Like I say, it's been a long bloody time coming. Obviously, so the things surrounding it, I can't really say it's not no fault of my own, like partly my fault, but as I understand it, I thought I'd served my time, so I should be able to just get straight back in there and box as a professional. Unfortunately, I couldn't, but we're over that now. That's all in the past, and we're ready to hit the ground running, and we're getting fights lined up like they're going out of fashion. So I can't wait.
Yeah. Let's talk a bit about July 24th. Lee Valley running track, or you got the athletics building there. You're only fighting Theo Tetteh on the fights on Fightzone. Do you know much about this opponent going into the fight?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've looked fair bit into him. He's only been stopped 3 times. Once by Andy Fowler in his last bout, but you can look that straight up on YouTube. That was a bit of a circus act. He had really shit boots on and kept slipping over.
I think I remember that.
I think the referee basically just got the ump and waved it off for that reason. Before that, he had a few knockout wins, but then before that, he lost to John Ryder for the WBO Intercontinental. And the only other person to stop him, Polish geezer, I forget his name, but he was European champion, and he lost to Golovkin for world title. So the only people who have got him out there inside distance have been very highly ranked people. He's a bit of a banger. I think he's got 19 wins with 12 or 13 knockouts or something along them lines. So he's got a bit of a dig on him, and hopefully it's just going to be a bout that's going to chuck my name in the mix and boost me out the rankings as quick as I can, because I don't want to be fighting people on negative records and journeymen.
Yeah. Obviously, how important is it for you to make a statement? Obviously, these guys there's only a few people who have actually stopped him. So most of them, like you said, most of them probably gone a distance. How important is it for you to put on a show and get a convincing win on the night?
So it's so important. I've been talking about this for years and years and convincing people how good I am for years, and I've got a good following, and I've got a good loyal fan base that will turn out in force, and they deserve it. For them, they deserve a good performance. I was going into the fight, I was thinking, maybe I need to get a few rounds under my belt. It's a 6-rounder fight. But we're matched again in September. We're matched again in August August and September, sorry. So I'm just going to try and hit the ground running and go for it. I'm not going to go in there looking for a knockout. I'm not a massive puncher, but if it's there, I'm going to take it. I'm not going to be hanging around.
Obviously, you mentioned that you're looking to fight again in September. So how important is it for you now, obviously, with the lost time you've had, to be active from now for the rest of the year?
I'm going to be as active as possible. So my manager Mo Pryor and Alfie Warren, they've turned around and said they're going to get me out as often as possible. So yeah, I'm fighting every 4 weeks till September. So I've got 3 fights booked in. In between them, there's also the possibility that I might be out in Spain or Malta as well. So I just want to get as many bouts under the belt as I can before the end of the year, because the goal is to be challenging for a title this year. And as ridiculous as it may sound for most people, in theory, in their first year on the British Boxing Board of Control, that's what we're going for. We're going to get a good few wins and challenge for titles as soon as possible.
Yeah. Obviously, not looking past your opponent too much on 24th of July when you fight him. Obviously, there's in the middleweight division, there's some really good fighters out there on the domestic front. Obviously, you've got the likes of near you, around about the same ranking as you. You've got lots of Jordan Dujon, Carl Fell, MTA Global, Jay Moon. You've got India Bassi, Michael Hennessy Jr. Would you ever welcome a fight with one of these guys moving on in the future?
You know what? I will fight absolutely anyone on the planet, providing I've got something to gain from it. So if someone's got a better ranking than me and they've got a positive record and it's going to push me towards something better, then yeah, I'll jump in there with any man. Basically anyone who's above me has got a target on them. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to climb as high as I can, as quick as I can, and get to whatever level I can by the fastest route possible.
Yeah. Obviously, you mentioned you want to fight for titles. Obviously, any title in particular you would love to fight for this year if you got the opportunity?
Do you know what? Absolutely anything. As a kid and growing up, and even when I come out of jail thinking I was going to turn pro then, the plan was Southern area, English, Commonwealth, British, European, and eventually step up to the big boys. But I ain't in a position to be picking and choosing. So if something comes up that's available and we can get our hands on it, then we'll go for it. I don't care what it is. Any title that I can get my hands on, if we can get it made by the end of the year, then we're going to go for it.
Obviously, you mentioned Mo Pryor and Alfie Warren. We know them very well. Warren brothers, obviously WBM. How highly do you rate these guys? How do you talk about these guys and how them? Because obviously they've helped you so far in your career. How confident you believe these guys are going to take you far in the sport?
Do you know what? Massively. I am, like I've said to quite a few other people, while I've been waiting to get my license, etc., I've always been on the outside looking in. Always been looking for a little loophole for a way in, thinking, right, there might be a little way that I can get onto the board of control. So I know the sport inside out, and I know virtually the majority of the managers within the industry. So, and I've got a lot of good friends in higher places in the boxing, all the boys I boxed amateur with, and I take their advice on board all the time. And out of everyone I spoke to, the only person who seems to get a positive bit of feedback from absolutely everyone seems to be Mo Pryor, as a sort of like the most honest and fair manager about. So obviously I signed with Mo, and then Mo and Warren Boxing Management have sort of amalgamated together. So it's brilliant. I mean, it's strength in numbers. I've got a fantastic manager and promoter who's now signed with another brilliant management stable, which just adds so much more to everything. So it's really exciting times.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to, obviously, I know a lot of fighters in the stable for Mo and Alfie and the boys there, and exciting times ahead. You're really good fighters there, and I'm sure you guys are all going to go far and get opportunities to fight on big channels as well, big broadcasters as well.
Of course, yeah, and that's what it's all about. It's a bums on seat business, and if I get out there and start putting on the performances that I know I can, then I know people are going to start watching, and people are going to start turning up. And when they start coming in big numbers, then the big boys will start knocking on the door and saying, right, we want you on our shows. So that's the ideal of it, is to get out there, start putting in some good performances and get onto a bigger stage, bigger platform for the bigger fights.
Yeah, you just mentioned bigger fights. Obviously, the middleweight division, you've got some absolute terrific fighters out there, not just in the UK, but also in the States and all over the world. Talking a bit about the UK, obviously, you've got a few champions, the likes of you got the likes of Felix Cash. You got the likes of, obviously, Denzel Bentley just recently lost his last fight. Denzel Bentley's out there. You got the Eubank Jr., big name out there. You got Lerone Richards. So many massive names out there in British thing. If you could actually one day fight one of these British boxers, who do you be your ideal opponent?
Do you know what? It's a bit of a hard one, because when it comes to titles, I'm probably going to end up dropping down to super welter.
Yeah.
It's a very, very hard one, but out of everyone you just mentioned, I'd probably say Eubank Jr. Yeah. Purely on the basis of the way the styles would gel. I mean, like, similar style myself to Billy Joe, and Billy Joe didn't turn up for that fight, but still got the better of him. George Groves, as soon as he started boxing, got the better of him. And yeah, out of all them names, I'd think Chris Eubank would be the one I would like out of all of them.
Yeah, brilliant. Obviously, you want to move down to junior welterweight. Who would you potentially love to get in the ring with? Obviously, you've got some, like I said, that's another great domestically competitive division. Obviously, the likes of Ted Cheeseman, Anthony Fowler. You had obviously recently, you had Sam Egerton win. You had so many. You got obviously Fitzgerald. That's a very competitive weight class as well.
Fantastic division domestically. I think Sam Egerton actually just won a WBC silver or international at middleweight. But that's another one that we could look at. But obviously the golden goose there would be Ted Cheeseman for the British, because let's be honest, that's the belt that everyone is going to want at some stage. And if you can get that belt in your career, I think then you've done extremely well. As much as I say, I'll jump at any belt possible just to get myself up there and push myself onto the bigger fights. If the opportunity comes to fight for Lonsdale belt, then I don't think there's a boxer on the planet that will turn it down.
Yeah, brilliant. I want to obviously ask you. You mentioned that obviously you run your boxing gym. Want to show us viewers what's your name of your boxing gym, and tell us a bit about your boxing gym, how you first established?
Well, do you know what? I'll actually have. I don't know how to turn the camera around, but this is my little gym here. So it's Willie's gym. It's in Colchester. So we've got all our amateurs, and basically it's an amateur club.
Yeah.
But we've got a lot of keep fitters in here and absolutely everyone else. And it's good. It's like a little hub of the community. Like every night we're in here, we've probably got 10 different nationalities in here. We've got people from every walk of life, fat, thin, young, old. Some that are brilliant boxers, some that aren't so much. Lewis Richardson trains here with us, who's just come back from the Olympic qualifiers. Unfortunately, didn't make it, but no disgrace in it. He lost out to the pound for pound #1 amateur in the world. So, like, we've got a real good setup here. But this is like my job and my passion. For me, myself, I'm actually training down at Hoddesdon, and the team we got down there is unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable.
Brilliant. Obviously, I want to ask you, obviously, how important is it for you to give back to the community, obviously, by running this gym and giving people opportunity that obviously you might have not had previously, and obviously to maybe one day go on and become a professional fighter?
Joe, I always think that anyone who's in a more fortunate position than someone else, then they should always just try and give a little bit back. And like I'm Joe, I'm skint. I ain't got no money or nothing like that. But what I've got a good social media following, and I know an awful lot of people, so I can manage to do things via social media and getting people together. And we managed to raise a lot of money for various charities and causes, and it's very refreshing. It's very refreshing to give back. This sport, without it, like obviously I went to jail, but without it, I'd probably be in jail for the rest of my life, or I'd be dead. So I think if I can use this sport to give a little bit back to other people, then that'd be fantastic. We actually run a couple of accredited courses out of here, and I go and run them in schools as well. We set them up with the charity Bernardo's. One's called Touch Gloves, which is it's all about respect for absolutely everyone and not to be mistreating people, things like that. And then there's another one that we've got called On the Ropes, which is it's aimed at the naughtiest of the naughty kids, like the ones who have been kicked out of school, but they come back into a special referral unit with myself and some of the people I work with, and it's sort of not pushed upon us, but it's sort of our job to try and bring these kids back from the point of no return, so that they don't end up going down the same sort of path as myself. And they're fantastic, and the feedback we get from the schools that we're working in is amazing. And like a lot of the teachers, we ain't had them in here for ages because of the COVID, and it's unfortunate. But like a lot of the teachers, they'll say they use my gym as a sort of bargaining chip with the kids. When the kids are all fucking around at school, they say, right, you're not going to Willie's gym, you ain't going. And all of a sudden they start behaving themselves because they come here and they enjoy what we do. And I think mainly because they can relate to me, because I'm not standing there as a teacher or a social worker saying you can't do this, you can't do that. I'm standing there like someone like them who's actually been there, done it, and got the t-shirt. So we get a very good response from that, and that's probably, outside of actually boxing and training, that's one of my favourite things to do.
Yeah, that's amazing. Obviously, giving back to people, and the fact that they enjoy coming back there. The teachers use it as a bargaining tool for them to come, and shows how much that place must mean to them. So it's fantastic what you're doing. So yeah, well done to you. Hats off to you there.
No, thank you.
Tommy, I want to obviously ask you, before we finish this interview, I want to ask you, what have you got to say to the viewers who are watching this, boxing fans and non-boxing fans, and why they should watch you fight on the 24th of July live on Fightzone?
Right, well, there's going to be an awful lot of my fans there anyway, which I want to say thank you to all of them for the continued support over the years. And anyone new that's going to be watching on Fightzone, because I'm sure there'll be some good numbers watching on there, just have a little look and enjoy what I can put on display, because I'm a talented fighter. I know I'm decent. I just haven't had the chance to prove it yet. So it's a chance for a bit of an old boy to get out there and mix it with the young guns and see how far we can take things. And it's going to be a very interesting roller coaster story, and I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait. We're going to be there that night. We're going to be there in attendance. So I can't wait to see you put on display. And I wish you nothing but the best going into the fight. And I'm sure we're going to catch up after the fight as well.
Of course, definitely, always.
Brilliant. Tommy, absolute pleasure having you on. Have a good evening, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you, my man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Take care now.
Cheers.